Hey everyone! One of the most frustrating experiences for restaurant owners and managers is watching a great employee slowly change. Maybe they were once the person you could always rely on. They showed up early, helped teammates without being asked, followed procedures, and consistently delivered strong performance. Then something shifted. They became less engaged. Their attention to details started slipping. Their attitude changed. They stopped taking the initiative. Eventually, the same employee who was once considered one of the most strongest member of the team began to look like one of the weakest. When this happens, the first reaction is often to blame the employee. Managers assume the person has become lazy, careless, or unmotivated. Sometimes that's true, but surprisingly, often the real problem isn't the employee, it's the environment surrounding them. Think about what happens when a highly motivated employee joins a restaurant. They arrive with energy, enthusiasm, and a desire to perform well. At first, they follow every procedure because they believe standards matter. They put extra effort into their work because they want to contribute. They notice details because they care about doing things correctly. Now imagine that employee repeatedly sees shortcuts being tolerated. They watch co-workers arrive late without consequences. They see procedures ignored. They notice that strong performance receives little recognition, while poor performance goes unaddressed. And over time, a question begins to form in their mind. Why am I working harder than everyone else? This is often where the decline begins. Human behavior is heavily influenced by the environment. Most people naturally adjust to their effort based on what they see around them. If excellence feels appreciated and rewarded, employees often rise to the occasion. If mediocrity becomes the norm, even high performers can begin lowering their standards. Another major factor is burnout. Restaurants are demanding environments. Long hours, busy services, difficult customers, staffing shortages, and constant pressure can take a toll on even the most dedicated employees. At first, motivated team members often compensate by working harder. They cover extra shifts, they solve problems, they help struggling co-workers. But if these efforts continue without support or recognition, exhaustion eventually catches up. What's dangerous about burnout is that it rarely announces itself. Employees don't usually walk into work one day and say, I am burned out. Instead, the symptoms appear gradually. They become quieter, less engaged, less patient, less willing to go above and beyond. Managers may interpret these changes as attitude problems when they are actually signs of fatigue. Communication also plays a significant role. Employees need clarity. They need to understand expectations, priorities, and goals. When communication becomes inconsistent, people often become frustrated. Imagine being told one thing by one manager and something completely different by another. Imagine standards changing without explanation. Imagine being held accountable for expectations that were never clearly communicated. Over time, confusion turns into disengagement. Recognition is another area where many restaurants struggle. Managers often spend most of their time addressing problems. They correct mistakes, resolve complaints, and handle operational issues. As a result, employees frequently hear about what they are doing wrong, but rarely hear about what they are doing right. The absence of recognition doesn't always create immediate problems. However, over weeks and months, it can quietly erode motivation. People want to feel that their effort matters. They want to know that someone notices their contributions. Without that feedback, even strong employees may begin questioning when they are investing so much energy into their work. There is also the issue of fairness. Few things damage morale faster than inconsistent accountability. When hardworking employees see others breaking rules without consequences, frustration grows. The message being sent, whether intentional or not, is that standards are optional. Eventually, high performers may stop giving their best because they no longer believe the system is fair. Ironically, some of the best employees are often the first to become frustrated by weak leadership. They care deeply about quality, consistency, and teamwork. When those values are not protected, they feel the impact more strongly than others. What appears to be declining performance is sometimes disappointment. Managers should also consider workload distribution. In many restaurants, reliable employees are rewarded with more responsibility. On the surface, this makes sense. If someone performs well, managers naturally trust them with additional tasks. But over time, this can create an imbalance. Strong employees end up carrying a disproportionate share of the workload, while weaker employees contribute less. Eventually, the dependable employees begins to feel punished for being dependable. This creates a dangerous cycle. The more capable someone is, the more responsibility they receive. The more responsibility they receive, the more pressure they experience. The more pressure they experience, the greater the risk of burnout and disengagement. The most successful restaurant leaders understand that employee performance is rarely isolated from the system in which the employee works. Instead of immediately asking what's wrong with this employee, they ask a different question. What in our environment might be contributing to this behavior? That shift in perspective changes everything. It encourages leaders to examine training, communication, accountability, workload distribution, recognition, and culture. It helps them identify problems before talented employees become disengaged. Most importantly, it recognizes that performance is often a reflection of the workplace itself. Of course, personal responsibility still matters. Employees are responsible for their choices and behavior, but leadership plays a significant role in shaping the conditions under which those choices are made. Great restaurants don't simply hire good people and hope for the best. They create environments where good people can continue performing at high level. They understand that talent alone is not enough. People need support, clarity, fairness, and a purpose. The next time a strong employee begins showing signs of decline, it may be worth looking beyond that individual. Sometimes the employee hasn't changed nearly as much as the environment around them. Before replacing a struggling employee, take a closer look at the system that shaped their struggle.